I used to think investing was only for people making six figures. But the truth is, the habit matters more than the amount. I started with $100 a month, and that tiny seed turned into something I never expected. This video isn't about how rich I became. It's about how my mindset changed once I stopped saying, I'll start later. Hey, y'all. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been with me for a while, welcome back. I used to think investing was only for people making six figures. But the truth is, the habit matters more than the amount. I started with $100 a month, and that tiny seed turned into something I never expected. This video is not about how rich I became. It is about how my mindset changed once I stopped saying I will start later. Welcome to Harper Mumbling. The person whose journey we are exploring today is named Marcus, and his experience dismantles one of the most persistent excuses that keeps people from building wealth, the belief that you need to earn more before you can start investing. Marcus graduated college with a degree in communications and landed his first real job at a nonprofit organization. The salary was $32,000 per year. After taxes, rent, student loan payments, car insurance, groceries, and basic expenses, he had about $300 left each month. This was his discretionary income, the money that could go toward anything he wanted. Most of his peers in similar situations spent that money on lifestyle, eating out, entertainment, subscriptions, small luxuries that made the struggle of being young and broke slightly more bearable. Marcus had a different thought. He had read somewhere that compound interest was the eighth wonder of the world, that starting early made an enormous difference, that every year you delayed investing was a year of potential growth lost forever. But when he looked at his $300 monthly surplus, investing seemed almost laughable. What difference could $100 per month possibly make? Financial advisors talked about maxing out retirement accounts at $19,000 per year. He could not even invest $1,500 per year. Would it even matter? He did the math anyway, plugging numbers into a compound interest calculator. $100 per month, assuming an average 8% annual return, invested for 30 years would grow to approximately $149,000. He would contribute $36,000 over that period, and investment returns would add another $113,000. The numbers surprised him. It was not life-changing wealth, but it was real money, meaningful money, the kind of money that could make retirement possible instead of a distant fantasy. But the real revelation came when he compared two scenarios. Scenario 1, start investing $100 per month now at age 23. Scenario 2, wait 5 years to increase income, then invest $300 per month starting at age 28. On the surface, Scenario 2 seemed better. Triple the monthly contribution. But when he ran the numbers, Scenario 1 produced a larger final balance. The 5-year head start with smaller contributions beat the later start with larger contributions. Time was more valuable than amount. Marcus made his decision that day. He would invest $100 per month starting immediately, even though it felt small, even though it represented a third of his discretionary spending, even though nobody around him was doing the same. He opened a brokerage account, linked his checking account, and set up an automatic monthly transfer. $100 on the first of every month would buy shares of a total market index fund. That was the entire strategy. The first few months were psychologically challenging in unexpected ways. Marcus would see his $100 leave his account and buy approximately 5 or 6 shares depending on the market price that day. 5 shares. It felt insignificant. Checking his balance showed maybe $300 after 3 months. Meanwhile, his friends were posting on social media about weekend trips, new gadgets, concert tickets. He had chosen to forgo those experiences to accumulate what felt like pocket change in an investment account. The delayed gratification was real and uncomfortable. What kept him going was reframing how he thought about those $100. He stopped viewing it as $100 per month and started viewing it as buying shares in thousands of companies. Each month, his $100 was purchasing tiny pieces of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, and thousands of other companies. He was becoming a part owner of the global economy. That framing made the sacrifice feel less like deprivation and more like participation in something larger than himself. 6 months in, something shifted. Marcus received a small raise, increasing his salary to $34,000. That extra $2,000 annually translated to about $130 per month after taxes. Most people would have absorbed that raise into lifestyle, barely noticing the difference. Marcus made a different choice. He increased his investment to $150 per month. He kept his lifestyle exactly the same and directed the entire raise toward wealth building. This decision established a pattern that would define the next several years of his financial life. Year 2 brought another small raise. Marcus was now making $36,000. His investment increased to $200 per month. His lifestyle remained frozen at his original $32,000 salary level. Year 3, another raise to $39,000. Investment increased to $250 per month. By year 4, his salary had reached $42,000 and his monthly investment had reached $300. Over 4 years, his income increased by more than 30%, but his spending increased by 0%. Every single dollar of raises went directly to investing. This is where Marcus discovered one of the most powerful wealth-building principles that nobody talks about. Most people experience lifestyle inflation that matches or exceeds their income growth. You get a raise, you upgrade your apartment or your car or your habits, and you end up with the same amount of discretionary income as before, just at a higher spending level. But if you can keep your lifestyle fixed while your income grows, the gap between earning and spending becomes a wealth accumulation machine. Marcus was living this principle, and the results were becoming visible. By the end of year 4, Marcus had invested approximately $8,400 in total contributions over 48 months. His account balance was roughly $11,200. He had made almost $3,000 in investment returns without doing anything except maintaining his automatic contributions. That $3,000 represented several months of his original salary. His money was working for him now, generating returns that supplemented his active income. But the psychological transformation was even more valuable than the financial returns. Marcus no longer felt broke despite earning a modest salary. He had a growing investment account that represented security, options, and future freedom. When unexpected expenses arose, like a car repair or medical bill, he could handle them without panic because his emergency fund was solid and his investment account represented additional backup if truly needed. He felt wealthy in a way that had nothing to do with his salary level and everything to do with his savings rate and asset accumulation. His peers, many of whom were earning significantly more than him, often complained about being broke, living paycheck to paycheck, stressed about money. They had nicer cars, bigger apartments, better wardrobes, and more travel photos on social media. But they had no investments, no cushion, no trajectory toward financial independence. Marcus had the opposite. A modest lifestyle, growing assets, and a sense of control over his financial destiny. The contrast was instructive. Year 5 brought a significant development. Marcus changed jobs, moving to a new organization that paid $50,000 annually. This represented a substantial jump in income, nearly 60% more than his starting salary 5 years earlier. The temptation to finally upgrade his lifestyle was immense. He could afford a much nicer apartment. He could buy a newer car. He could travel internationally. He could experience all the things his peers took for granted. But Marcus made a calculation. If he maintained his original lifestyle just a bit longer, keeping his spending around $35,000 per year, he could invest $15,000 annually. That would max out his Roth IRA contribution limit and have money left for a taxable brokerage account. He chose to continue living modestly. The one-bedroom apartment he had rented for 5 years remained his home. His reliable but aging car continued serving its purpose. His entertainment budget stayed minimal, but his investment rate accelerated dramatically. $300 per month became roughly $1,250 per month. The compound effect started showing real power. By year 6, Marcus crossed a significant threshold. His investment account exceeded $30,000. This was more than his starting annual salary. The psychological impact was profound. He had created an asset that, if liquidated, could support him for a full year. Obviously, he would never liquidate it, but knowing that security existed changed how he felt about work, about risk, about life choices. He was no longer dependent on his paycheck in the desperate way he had been at age 23. He had options. The growth accelerated from there. Year 7 saw his account cross $50,000. Year 8 pushed it past $75,000. By year 9, he was approaching 6 figures, and here is what made this trajectory possible. Marcus had started with $100 per month when starting felt pointless. Those early contributions, the ones that felt so small and insignificant, had become the foundation. They had been compounding for 9 years. The shares he bought in year 1 at prices that seemed high at the time had doubled or tripled in value. Time had transformed modest contributions into substantial wealth. Marcus reflected on an alternative timeline. If he had waited until year 5, when his income jumped to $50,000 before starting to invest, he would have missed 5 years of contributions and 5 years of compound growth. He would have missed buying shares during a significant market dip in year 3. He would have missed the psychological transformation that came from watching his tiny seed grow month after month. He would have developed 5 more years of lifestyle inflation that would have made saving difficult even at higher income. Waiting would have cost him enormously in ways both financial and psychological. The lesson Marcus learned, the one he shares with anyone who will listen, is that the habit of investing matters infinitely more than the amount you start with. Starting with $100 per month builds a habit of living below your means, of prioritizing future security over present consumption, of viewing yourself as an investor rather than just a consumer. Once that habit is established, increasing the amount is relatively easy as income grows. But if you never establish the habit because you are waiting to earn more first, you are likely to find that earning more does not change your behavior. You will simply consume more at every income level. The people who build wealth are not necessarily the highest earners. They are the people who establish the saving and investing habit early, maintain it consistently regardless of income level, and let time do the heavy lifting through compound returns. Marcus started at $32,000 per year. Some of his peers started at $60,000 per year but saved nothing because they felt they deserved to enjoy their income. 10 years later, Marcus has a 6-figure investment portfolio. His higher-earning peers have newer cars and nicer apartments but negligible net worth. There is also something profound about starting when it feels hard. When Marcus was investing $100 per month from a $300 surplus, that represented real sacrifice. He was forgoing 1/3 of his discretionary spending. That sacrifice built discipline, appreciation for money, and commitment to the process. People who wait until investing feels easy often never develop that discipline. They always find reasons to spend rather than invest because they never built the muscle memory of choosing future security over present pleasure. Marcus is now in year 10 of his investing journey. His salary has continued growing and is approaching $70,000. His monthly investment has reached approximately $2,000 as he has continued directing raises toward wealth building while maintaining moderate lifestyle. His portfolio has crossed $150,000. He is on track to become a millionaire by his mid-40s simply by maintaining this pattern. And it all traces back to a decision he made at age 23 to invest $100 per month even though it felt small and even though everyone around him said to wait until he earned more. The transformation is not just financial. Marcus thinks differently about money now. He does not see his salary as income to be spent. He sees it as capital to be deployed. He does not measure wealth by his possessions or his lifestyle. He measures it by his net worth and his trajectory toward financial independence. He does not feel deprived by living below his means. He feels empowered by the options that growing assets provide. The mindset shift that started with $100 monthly investments has completely reoriented his relationship with money. If there is one message Marcus would want every young person to hear, especially those earning modest salaries and feeling like investing is pointless until they earn more, it is this. Start now with whatever you have, even if it feels insignificantly small, because the habit you build and the time you gain are worth more than the amount. $100 per month invested from age 23 to age 65 at 8% average returns will grow to over $400,000. That is life-changing money built from an amount that felt too small to matter. But you only get that result if you start, and you can only start from where you are right now, not from where you wish you were or where you will be someday. This is Harper mumbling, and if Marcus's story inspired you to start investing regardless of your current income level or to increase your investing even if the increase feels small, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who thinks they need to earn more before they can start building wealth. Leave a comment below sharing what amount you started with or what amount you are committing to start with after watching this. Turn on notifications so you do not miss future videos about the real psychology and mathematics of wealth building from modest beginnings. Thank you for watching, and remember, the best investment amount is not the one you wish you could invest. It is the one you can actually invest starting right now today.